You ever notice how some people treat their tongue like a straight razor? Sharp, dangerous, and they don't care who they cut. I'm talking about gossip. The kind that spreads through a small town faster than a bad case of the flu. The kind that ruins lives, destroys families, ends careers. All because somebody with a big mouth decided their version of the truth was more interesting than the actual truth. Now, you might be wondering what's worse, a bad haircut or bad gossip. A bad haircut grows out in 6 weeks. Bad gossip? That sticks to you like cheap cologne. And if you're unlucky enough to live in a small town where everybody knows everybody, well, that gossip becomes your legacy. My name is Vincent DeLuca. Vinnie to my friends. I'm 72 years old, and I spent 50 years as a barber. Started cutting hair when I was 16, opened my own shop when I was 22. DeLuca's Classic Cuts on Main Street in Riverside, New Jersey. For half a century, I stood behind that chair. Cut hair for 3 generations of families. Watched boys become men, become fathers, fathers become grandfathers. All on my chair. And you know what you learn after 50 years of cutting hair? People talk. They talk when they're in the chair because there's something about getting a haircut that makes people comfortable. Makes them forget you're there. Makes them tell you things they wouldn't tell their priest. I heard it all. Affairs, money problems, family secrets, business deals, political schemes. 50 years of the town's dirty laundry folded neat in my memory. But here's the thing about being a barber. It's a sacred trust. What happens in the chair stays in the chair. That's the code. You don't repeat what you hear. You don't spread it around. You take it to your grave. Most barbers understand that. Most barbers respect it. Tommy Russo was not most barbers. Let me tell you about Tommy. Tommy the Mouth Russo, we called him, though never to his face. Guy opened a shop 3 blocks from mine about 20 years ago. Russo's Barber Shop. Big neon sign. Flashy chairs. Loud music. Everything about Tommy was loud. He was younger than me. Mid-40s when he started. Good-looking guy. Smooth talker. Could sell ice to an Eskimo, as my father used to say. And he could cut hair. I'll give him that. The man had skills with scissors. But Tommy had one fatal flaw. He couldn't keep his mouth shut. Every haircut came with a side of gossip. Fresh rumors, hot takes, juicy stories. Half of them exaggerated. The other half, completely made up. But Tommy didn't care. As long as it kept people coming back, as long as it kept his chairs full, truth was just another tool in his kit. At first, it was harmless stuff. Which couple was fighting? Who got fired? What business was struggling? Small town. Chatter. Nothing that would kill anybody. But Tommy got bolder. Started making things up when the real gossip ran dry. A little embellishment here. A complete fabrication there. And people ate it up. They'd come to his shop not just for a haircut, but for the show. For the tea, as the kids say now. My shop. We kept it old school. Good haircuts. Quiet conversation. Respect. Privacy. And for a while, that was enough. My clients were loyal. They'd been coming to me for years, some of them for decades. But slowly, I started losing customers. Young guys mostly. They wanted the entertainment. They wanted the gossip. They wanted to be in the know. And I thought, fine. Let them go. I don't need clients who value rumors over respect. But then Tommy crossed a line. A line you don't cross. It was 3 years ago. Spring. I remember because the cherry blossoms were blooming down Main Street, and I was thinking about retirement. Maybe selling the shop. Maybe just closing it down and enjoying whatever time I had left. My son Michael came into the shop one Saturday afternoon. He looked terrible. Eyes red. Hadn't slept. Hadn't shaved. This is a kid who wore suits to the grocery store. Always put together. Always professional. He sat in my chair and he said, "Dad, I need you to hear this from me before you hear it somewhere else." My stomach dropped. You know that feeling when you know bad news is coming, but you don't know how bad yet? "I'm getting divorced," he said. Now, Michael and his wife Sarah had been together 16 years. Married 14. 2 kids. Beautiful family. And, yeah, I knew they'd been having some problems. Every marriage has problems. But divorce? That hit me hard. "What happened?" I asked. He looked at me in the mirror, and I saw shame in his eyes. Real shame. "There's a rumor going around," he said, "that I've been having an affair with my secretary, that I've been embezzling from my company to pay for trips with her, that I got her pregnant and paid for an abortion." I put down my scissors. "Is it true?" "No," he said. "Dad, none of it's true. I've never cheated on Sarah. Never. I'd never do that." "Then where did it come from?" He shook his head. "I don't know. But it's everywhere. Sarah's heard it. Her parents heard it. My boss heard it. HR is investigating me. Sarah filed for divorce last week because she said even if it's not true, the rumors already destroyed our marriage." I felt something cold settle in my chest. Something hard. "Where did you first hear the rumor?" I asked. "Guy at the gym mentioned it. Said his barber told him." "Which barber?" Michael looked at me. "Tommy Russo." There it was. The name I already knew was coming. Tommy had spread this poison. Invented it, probably, just to have something interesting to talk about while he faded a neckline. Just to keep his chairs full and his reputation as the town's gossip central alive. And in the process, he destroyed my son's marriage. Destroyed his reputation. Destroyed his relationship with his kids, who were now caught in the middle of a divorce that shouldn't be happening. All because Tommy Russo couldn't keep his lying mouth shut. I finished Michael's haircut in silence. When he left, I locked the door. Closed the shop early for the first time in 30 years. And I sat in my chair, staring at myself in the mirror, and I thought about what I was going to do. See, I'm old school. From a generation where you didn't sue people. You didn't go to the police over words. You handled things yourself. You found a way to make it right. But I'm also 72 years old. I'm not going to Tommy's shop to beat him up. That's not who I am. Never was. So I did what I do best. I watched. I listened. And I planned. Over the next few weeks, I started paying attention to Tommy's rumors. Really paying attention. And I noticed a pattern. Every lie he told served a purpose. It wasn't random. Tommy was strategic. He'd spread rumors about businesses right before their competitors would mysteriously gain customers. He'd talk about affairs right before divorce lawyers would get new clients. He'd mention financial troubles right before loan officers would reject applications. Tommy wasn't just gossiping. He was being paid to gossip. He'd turned his mouth into a weapon for hire. And that gave me an idea. I started talking to my old clients. The ones who'd stayed loyal. The ones who valued discretion. And I asked them a simple question. Have you heard any rumors about yourself lately? Every single one of them had a story. Every single one of them could trace it back to Tommy's chair. The owner of the hardware store? Tommy spread a rumor he was racist. Lost half his customers before he could defend himself. The high school principal? Tommy said he was having an affair with a teacher. Board of Education investigated. Nothing there, but the damage was done. The pastor at St. Anthony's? Tommy claimed he was stealing from the collection plate. Attendance dropped by 40%. On and on. A trail of destruction 3 blocks long and 20 years deep. But here's the thing about small towns. They run on reputation. And Tommy's reputation was built on being the guy who knew everything. The guy who was always right. The guy who had the real story. So I decided to destroy that reputation. To show everybody that Tommy wasn't a reliable source. He was a liar. A weapon for hire. A cancer in the community. But I needed proof. Real proof. Not just hunches. So I became a customer. One Tuesday morning, I walked into Russo's barber shop. First time I'd ever been in there. Tommy was surprised. You could see it on his face. Vinnie DeLuca, he said, all smiles. Never thought I'd see you in my chair. Time for a change, I said. Been going to the same mirror for 50 years. Figured I'd see what all the fuss is about. He ate it up, sat me down in his chair, started cutting. And within 5 minutes, he started talking. You hear about the mayor? He said. Guy's got a gambling problem. Owes some serious money to some serious people. I played along. No kidding? Where'd you hear that? Got my sources, he said, all mysterious. Like he was deep throat or something. I went back the next week. And the week after that. Each time, I'd hear new rumors. Each time, I'd record them. Not on my phone. Too obvious. I'd just remember them. Write them down later. And then I'd verify them. I'd talk to the people Tommy was spreading rumors about. I'd ask quiet questions. Do some digging. Every single rumor was either exaggerated or completely false. But that wasn't enough. I needed to connect Tommy to the people who were benefiting from his lies. So I started following the money. Not literally. I'm not a detective. But I started paying attention to patterns. After Tommy spread a rumor about the Italian restaurant on 5th Street having health code violations, a new restaurant opened 2 blocks away, owned by Tommy's cousin. After Tommy said the town's only lawyer was a drunk, a new law practice opened up, run by Tommy's brother-in-law. After Tommy claimed the car dealership was selling lemons, a competing dealership across town saw record sales. Owner? Regular customer of Tommy's. Tipped him $50 every visit. Tommy was running a protection racket. Pay him, and he'd spread rumors about your competition. Cross him, and he'd spread rumors about you. It was brilliant, in a sick kind of way, and completely legal. He never threatened anyone. Never put anything in writing. Just talked. Just cut hair and talked. But I had enough. I had the pattern. I had the proof. I had everything I needed. Now I just needed the right moment. That moment came 6 months after Michael's divorce was finalized. Michael had lost custody of his kids. Lost his job. Lost everything. All because of a lie that Tommy Russo told for probably $200 and a tip. The town council was having elections. New mayor, new council members. Big deal in a small town. And one of the candidates was Tommy's biggest client. Guy named Carmine Benedetto. Came to Tommy's shop twice a week. Tipped. Huge. And coincidentally, every one of his opponents had been hit with rumors in the last few months. The election was in 2 weeks. And I decided that was when Tommy would get his final trim. I organized a meeting. Invited every person who'd been hurt by Tommy's rumors. 37 people showed up. We met in the back room of my shop on a Sunday night. I showed them what I'd found. The pattern. The connections. The money trail. Everything. This man has destroyed lives, I said. Destroyed reputations. Destroyed businesses. All for profit. All because we let him. What can we do? Someone asked. He never puts anything in writing. It's all word of mouth. Exactly, I said. Word of mouth. So we use word of mouth. Here's what we did. Every single person in that room went home and started spreading a rumor. The same rumor. Rumor about Tommy. We said that Tommy Russo was working with the FBI, that he'd been caught taking bribes to spread false information, that he was wearing a wire, that everything said in his shop was being recorded. Was it true? No. It was completely made up. But that was the point. Within 3 days, Tommy's shop was empty. Nobody wanted to talk around him. Nobody wanted to risk being recorded. His chair sat empty. His phone stopped ringing. Within a week, his landlord got an anonymous tip that Tommy was running an illegal gambling operation out of the back room. Wasn't true, but the landlord had to investigate, had to bring in inspectors. Within 2 weeks, 3 of Tommy's biggest clients, the ones who'd been paying him to spread rumors, got letters. Anonymous letters, detailing exactly what they'd paid for and what rumors Tommy had spread on their behalf. Those clients panicked, started distancing themselves. Some of them made public statements denouncing rumors. Some of them apologized to the people they'd targeted. And then the local newspaper got an anonymous package. Inside was a detailed breakdown of Tommy's operation. Names, dates, rumors, connections. Everything. They ran a front-page story. Local barber accused of running defamation for hire scheme. Tommy threatened to sue. Said it was all lies. Said he was being set up. But here's the thing about a reputation built on gossip. It's fragile. Once people start doubting you, once they start questioning whether you're telling the truth, it all falls apart. Tommy's business died within a month. He tried to stick it out, tried to rebuild, but nobody came back. Nobody trusted him anymore. 6 months later, he closed the shop, moved out of town. Last I heard, he was cutting hair in some strip mall in Pennsylvania, making minimum wage. No tips, no gossip, just scissors and silence. My son Michael, the truth eventually came out. His company's HR investigation cleared him completely. There was never an affair, never any embezzlement, just lies from a barber's chair. But the damage was done. Sarah wouldn't take him back. Said too much time had passed, too much hurt. The kids were old enough to have heard the rumors. Believed them, at least partially. Michael rebuilt his life. New job, new city, new start. But he lost years with his children because of a lie. Lost a marriage because of a lie. And that's the thing about gossip. It's not just words. It's a weapon. And in the wrong hands, it destroys everything it touches. As for me, I retired shortly after Tommy left town. Sold the shop to a young barber who understood the code, who respected the chair, who knew that what's said in confidence stays in confidence. I'm 72 years old now, and I still see some of the people whose lives Tommy destroyed. Some of them recovered. Some of them didn't. Some of them are still dealing with the fallout of rumors spread years ago. But Tommy, he learned something important. That your words have weight. That lies have consequences. That when you make your living destroying others, eventually it catches up to you. We gave him his final trim. Cut away the reputation he'd built on lies. Left him with nothing but the truth of what he really was. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. Not for a second. Because in the barber's chair, you have a choice. You can build people up or tear them down. You can be trusted or you can be feared. You can tell the truth or you can chase the gossip. Tommy made his choice, and he paid for it. So let me ask you again, what's worse, a bad haircut or bad gossip? A bad haircut is embarrassing for a few weeks. Bad gossip can destroy a life, can end marriages, can ruin careers, can take away your children. And if you're the one spreading it, if you're the one using your words as weapons, eventually, someone's going to hold you accountable. Eventually, you're going to sit in that chair. And someone's going to give you the trim you deserve. Mine was sharp, mine was precise, and mine was final, because that's what you do when someone hurts your family, when someone uses their position to destroy innocent people, when someone makes a living off of lies. You give them exactly what they gave everyone else. You cut them down. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Vinny, you spread a false rumor about Tommy. Doesn't that make you just as bad as him? And here's my answer. Maybe. Maybe I'm just as guilty. Maybe fighting gossip with gossip makes me a hypocrite. But here's the difference. I didn't do it for profit. I didn't do it for entertainment. I did it for justice. For my son. For the 37 other people whose lives Tommy destroyed. And unlike Tommy, I can sleep at night. Because I know that every word I said about him being a liar, that was true. Every connection I exposed, that was real. The rumors we spread weren't about innocent behavior. They were about criminal behavior, defamation, extortion, conspiracy. Tommy wasn't an innocent man we targeted. He was a guilty man we exposed. There's a difference. But you know what the real lesson is? The one I learned after 50 years behind the chair? Words matter. Every single one of them. They build up or tear down. They heal or they hurt. They create trust or they destroy it. And if you're in a position where people trust you, whether you're a barber, a teacher, a pastor, a friend, you have a responsibility. You have to guard that trust. Protect it. Honor it. Because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Once people stop believing you, once they start questioning every word out of your mouth, you're done. Tommy learned that the hard way, and I made sure he learned it. So here's my advice to you. The next time you hear a juicy piece of gossip, the next time someone leans in and whispers something scandalous, the next time you feel that urge to pass it along, to be the one in the know, to share the tea, stop. Ask yourself, is this true? Do I know this for a fact? Or am I just repeating something I heard? And then ask yourself, will sharing this help anyone? Or will it hurt someone? Because gossip isn't harmless fun. It's not just entertainment. It's not innocent. It's a weapon. And if you use it, eventually it's going to get turned on you. Trust me, I've seen it happen. I've seen lives destroyed by a rumor started in a barber's chair. I've seen marriages end, careers ruined, reputations shattered, all because someone couldn't keep their mouth shut. And I've seen the people who spread those rumors get exactly what they deserved. Tommy Russo got his final trim. Clean, sharp, permanent. And I was the one holding the scissors. So yeah, I'm Vinnie DeLuca, retired barber, 72 years old. And I spent 50 years learning the power of words. Some people use that power to heal. Tommy used it to hurt. And I used it to make sure he couldn't hurt anyone ever again. That's my confession. That's my story. And if you're someone who spreads gossip, who whispers rumors, who uses your words to tear others down, consider this your warning. Because somewhere out there, there's someone like me. Someone who's had enough. Someone who's going to hold you accountable. And when they do, you're going to get your final trim, whether you're ready for it or not. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been hurt by gossip? Have you ever been the victim of a rumor that wasn't true? Or maybe you've been the one spreading it, and you regret it now? Share your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. Because the only way we stop this cycle is by being honest about it, by calling it out, by refusing to participate. Gossip thrives in the shadows. Let's bring it into the light. This is Grandpa's Confession, and I'm Vinnie DeLuca, reminding you that your words are your legacy. Choose them carefully, because once they're out there, you can't take them back. And somebody, somewhere, is listening.